Okay, Kipsters, we are going to look at our 3 key points a little more closely and look at a couple examples of how we can put them into practice. So looking at key point 1, integers can be compared by considering their placement on a number line. As you move to the right or up on a number line, the value increases. As you move to the left or down on a number line, the value decreases. Key point 2, number lines can be used as a tool to determine the order of integers. So we can use our understanding of a number line, like the one I provided, as a tool to help us order and compare integers. So looking at this number line, notice that I have a scale of 1. I'm only counting by ones. If I wanted to compare the two plotted integers, which I can see are 1 and -4. If I'm asking you to compare something, I need you to use the context of what we're talking about to justify how you did it. So if I want you to order it, I want you to compare both of these integers. Now, what do I mean by that exactly? Let's start by just putting these in order. I want to put them in order from least to greatest, okay? So if I put these in order from least to greatest, I have -4, and then I have 1. As I'm going through this example, I want you to be listening for number line specific vocab. What parts of a number line am I using to justify why I ordered these integers the way I did? So I know that -4 is less than 1, and I know that by using this number line as a tool. I know that integers, as you move to the left on a number line, get smaller. I know that the integers on a number line as you move to the right are getting bigger. Therefore, what I plotted on the left side of my number line is always going to be smaller than anything to the right. So any integer to the right of -4 is larger than -4. Any integer plotted to the left of 1 is less than the integer 1. One way that we can compare integers while still using a number line to help us is using inequality symbols. So to refresh our memory, inequality symbols are greater than, less than, or equal to. So for example, 3 is greater than 2, but 2 is less than 3. So for part 1, it says for each set of numbers, draw a number line, which I already provided for us, plot the numbers on the number line, and compare them using these inequality symbols. So part A wants us to plot -2 and 3. So -2 is already provided on this number line with a scale of 1. So now after I've plotted them, they want me to compare them using these inequality symbols. I need to think, how can I know which number is greater? I know based on my number line knowledge that any number to the right of 0 is positive, any number to the left of 0 is negative. So therefore, the number furthest to the right on the number line is always going to be the largest. So in this example, -2 is less than 3. Looking at this second example, part B, I need to compare -18 and -16. So I changed the scale on my number line. So now my scale is 2. And notice I only am showing the left side of the number line, so all of my negative integers are shown because I am comparing two negative integers. So the first thing I need to do is plot negative 18 and plot negative 16. Our example in part A was a little bit easier because we know that any positive integer is always going to be bigger than any negative integer. So now we're being asked to compare two negative integers. So they're both to the left side of 0. So now I need to compare and ask myself which one is smaller and why. So looking at my number line, I know that the further to the left I go on the number line, the smaller the value becomes. So therefore the number furthest to the left is going to be the smallest number. So that means the integer negative 18 is less than negative 16. I know that negative 16 is larger or greater than negative 18 because it is closer to 0 on the number line. It is further to the right on the number line. And now looking at part C, we are given the integers 9, negative 12, and negative 3. I adjusted the scale of the number line provided. I did this just like we did in yesterday's lesson. I know that 3 is a factor of negative 3, negative 12, and 9. So my scale is counting by 3. So now the first thing I need to do is plot these integers. So I have a positive 9, negative 12, and negative 3. So now I need to order them using these inequality symbols. I know that my number line can be used as a tool to help me. So just looking ahead, I know part D is asking me to explain how we determine the order for part C. So while I'm describing how to order for part C, listen again for the number line specific vocab. As I look at these 3 plotted integers and I'm asked to compare them, I know that whatever integer is plotted furthest to the right on the number line is going to be the biggest, the largest or greatest value. I know that whatever integer is plotted furthest to the left on the number line is going to be the smallest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my number line and see that negative 12 is the furthest integer plotted to the left. And the further you go on the left, the smaller the value becomes. So I know that negative 12 is less than negative 3 because it's further to the left on the number line. Same idea, negative 3 is larger, the mouth is opening to the larger number. Negative 3 is larger than negative 12 because it is further to the right on the number line. And lastly, I know that negative 3 is less than 9. I know this for 2 reasons. Any positive integer is always going to be greater than any negative integer. I also know that 9 is larger than negative 3 because it is further to the right on the number line. Take a moment in your journal and write down at least 3 number line specific words that I used to explain part C. This last example, I am going to demonstrate how to use the number line as a tool, even though we don't have to plot specific integers in order to use it to help us. So this says Junior's bank account balances for 4 months are listed below. So the months are listed here, and his balance is here. During which month did he have the most money? So I'm going to use my knowledge of positive and negative integers, and I know that if I'm talking about having the most money, and some of these values are negatives, I'm only going to be looking for the positive values right now. I see that in May he had $42, and I see in July he had $24. So in my mind, using the number line provided as a tool, I know 42 is going to be somewhere around here, and I know that 24 is going to be somewhere around here. I know that the further to the right on the number line, the greater the value. So $42 was in the month of May. Part B, during which month did he have the least amount of money? Again, if I'm talking about the least amount of money and I have two values that are negative, I need to figure out which one is the smallest value. So looking at my number line to help me again, negatives are always to the left of 0. Negative 5 is going to be somewhere around here in between 0 and negative 10. And negative 52 is going to be somewhere all the way down here in between negative 50 and negative 60. So using this number line as a tool to help me, I know that the smallest value is going to be the one that is the furthest to the left on the number line. So that's going to be negative 52. Negative $52 was in the month of August. And then part C is the month during which he had the least amount of money. So that is August. Negative 52. Further or closer to an account balance of 0, so the starting point of our number line, than the month when he had the most money. Okay, so in August, is August negative 52 further or closer to 0 than May, which is 42? So if I'm talking about distance, those words further and closer are telling me that we're talking about distance. I am essentially asking, what is the absolute value of 52 and what is the absolute value of 42? Remember, absolute value is always a positive integer. So the absolute value of negative 52 is 52, and the absolute value of 42 is 42. So I know that in August, a balance of negative $52 is further from an account balance of 0 than when I'm at $42 in May. During your independent practice time and our lesson wrap-up, we're going to see a few more examples. The takeaway from these examples is that you should use your knowledge of a number line and a physical number line to help you determine and order these integers. Ask yourself, which one is further to the right? That one is going to be larger. Which one is further to the left? That is going to be smaller.